Through these doors go the best damn kids in the world. Let's keep it that way.
Through this door go the best damn kids in the world. Let's keep it that way.
Through these doors go the best damn kids in the world. Let's keep it that way.
Through this door walk the best damn kids in the world. Let's keep it that way.
Through this door go the best damn kids in the world. Keep it that way.
Through this door go the best damn kids in the world. Let's keep it that way.
One heartbeat.
Win, fight, win.
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 High school football. Today it's Lehighton and Panther Valley. Today's game is being brought to you by John and Bob Market in Lansford, by the Sports Suit in Lansford, by Furniture in Palmerton, by LaRose Insurance, Palmerton and Lehighton, by Valley Athletic Supply in Lansford, and by Shays Hardware in Palmerton. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Lehighton. It is the first one of the season. I'm Bob Capasso, along with 19-year veteran of TV 13 Sports, Jim Nunamaker. First game of the season, hope springs eternal, but for these two teams, a lot of hope. Highly ranked, especially with Lehighton.
Yes, Lehighton is ranked in the 3 preseason polls that I have seen in the local papers and in the local TV stations. Panther Valley is not, which is somewhat surprising, I think, to a lot of people familiar with Panther Valley football. They come in here tonight with an experienced ball club. I think they lost one starter from last year's team. Granted, they were only 3-8 last year, but they played a lot of underclassmen who got a lot of experience. And those who saw Panther Valley know that these young kids are talented kids. They're not just experienced, but they're talented. So this is going to be a good ball game, even though Lehighton is the one who is more of a preseason favorite than the Panthers.
Lehighton comes off a 9-2 season last year. They have a lot of hopes. They lost Todd Wolf. That's going to hurt them, but they have the guys to come back.
Yeah, they have some outstanding backs. I like their fullback, Kyle Williams, a lot. He puts a lot of pressure on the defense because he's both quick and he runs hard. The other halfback, Chris Green, also very, very quick. The quarterback, Bob Eckhart, also experienced. So they have some talented people in that backfield coming back as well.
Now, these two teams are kind of funny in the preseason. Lehighton usually comes out, shoves it down your throat. They want to throw more. Panther Valley has the quarterback in Kazi Kashulik to throw, but Coach Tom Bonner talked more about getting the running game moving.
Well, I think every coach likes to establish a balanced attack. But I think what you can anticipate without too much fear, Panther Valley will throw between 20 and 25 times. No matter what the circumstances, no matter how the game develops, that will be their game plan. That means they'll probably run the ball about 40 to 45 times. Lehighton, on the other hand, they're going to run the ball. I talked to Coach Parsons before the ball game, and I said to him, "What's all this business about you throwing the football?" And he just laughed. I think we're going to see the Indians do what they've done for Coach Parsons very successfully over the years, and that's run the ball. That's not to say they won't throw a bit more this year, but they're primarily going to run the ball, particularly with Williams and Green back there. And Gumbert is also a fine halfback.
One of the big reasons they want to throw the ball a little bit more is to open up the defense because they don't have the guys up front. Well, they may, but they're untested. They lost a lot of linemen from last year.
Yes, and certainly I have always felt that line play is the key to any successful football team. And that's the one thing that Lehighton probably isn't as sure of going into this season as they have been in past years. However, they had 2 good scrimmages prior to tonight's game. They scrimmaged Penn Argyle 2 weeks ago, Phillipsburg last week, and I understand they did real well with Phillipsburg, so that if they did well against Phillipsburg, their linemen must be capable, and if that's the case, that's an even greater indication that they'll run the ball more than they'll throw it. Because if his lineman can hold up, he's going to run the football.
Now, this is a real important game for these two teams. Over the last couple of years, it's been an indicator of what's going to happen. Last year, it was 14-6. Lehighton won. The year before that, Panther Valley dominated. When Panther Valley dominated, they went on to the Eastern Conference playoffs. When Lehighton dominated last year, they were tri-champs in the Centennial League. This is a big indicator of this ball game.
It has been, you're right. I don't know that it will be this year, simply because both teams are very, very good. And both teams could play well tonight. But as is most often the case, of course, one team's going to lose. That team that loses tonight may still have a very successful season this year because they are both talented football teams.
What's going to be the key, the turnaround?
I think probably the line play. Although if we run into a high-scoring ball game with the type of offensive personnel that both teams have, I won't be surprised. But I think the bottom line will be the line play, either the defensive line for Panther Valley or the defensive line for Lehighton.
We will see if it is Air Bonner or Air Parsons or a ground game. Actually, we don't know what to expect because they've talked so much about doing things differently than they've done in the past. So I guess we will find out here. And really, it is hard to tell, especially with Lehighton, whether they are serious about changing, throwing.
I don't think he's serious about throwing. As I said before, I'm convinced that Panther Valley will put the ball in the air 20 to 25 times. I will be surprised if Lehighton puts the ball in the air more than 15 times. In fact, if Lehighton puts the ball in the air 15 times, I will be one surprised individual.
All right, find out along with us what's going to happen. It is Lehighton and Panther Valley every night on TV 13.
One of the sweetest memories I have is of going to the movies with you, Dad.
Oh, those were the days. Ah, they were classics. Hollywood classics.
Hollywood cast? They're still around. Where? Cable TV.
Cable TV, American movie classics.
And they have Penn State and Notre Dame sportswear. Shays has Reed Street and Sub 4 aerobic outfits for the complete workout. Men and women can choose from a large variety of footwear, such as Dexter, Wolverine work boots, LA Gear, and more. Shays has Rawlings baseball equipment, basketballs, and footballs. Shays Hardware, located on Delaware Avenue in Palmerton, the place to go for the complete sports person.
On come the Panthers of Panther Valley. The Indians have already come out onto the field. Welcome back to Lehighton opening night. Here on TV 13, the Lehighton Indians and the Panthers of Panther Valley. We talked in the pregame about what each team will be looking like. And I guess it warrants talking about this again, what Lehighton will be doing as far as this new Air Parsons attack.
Well, as I said in the pregame, Bob, I think they're going to throw the ball, but not too long from now we're going to find out, and I think we'll just wait and see along with everybody else. I'd like to mention that our viewers just saw the Panther Valley High School band perform pregame, and at halftime we'll see the other band, the Lehighton Indian Marching Band, as we take a look at head coach Bob Parsons. One thing we didn't talk about, it's hot here tonight, and that may play a role in the game as we go down to the center of the field for the opening toss of the year.
The Lehighton High School Marching Band and the National Anthem. We take a look at our coin toss. Let us go down there. That is referee Dick Ziegler. Kyle Williams and Mike Lush.
make sure you designate it. All right? You do the top. Right? You do the top. Two of the visitors, which is call in the air. If I drop it, we do it over. Here we are. Let's call the head. We got a head. You won the toss. We're going to defer. Okay. White won the toss, and then he won't defer in the second half. The kick receive, defend the goal. You will receive.
On a night like tonight, why defer?
I have no idea. I'd be lying to you if I tried to give you an answer. I'm surprised. I thought that the Panthers would want the ball. I think they have a great deal of confidence in their offense, and they would want the opportunity to put some points on the board right off the bat. Obviously not Coach Bonner's thinking. I'm not going to try to explain it.
We mentioned the Lehighton captains. The Panther Valley captains were Jimmer Kane, Joe Katchmar, and Vinny Sweeney. Sweeney should be a real key on that Panther Valley defense. They moved him from tackle to linebacker last year and from linebacker back to tackle this year, and he has got to be the defensive key for Panther Valley.
Well, certainly there's good size in that defense. You mentioned Sweeney. He's listed at 228 in the program. Kreitcher is at 227. And there's some others there with decent size as well. So size certainly should not be a problem for the Panthers, either offensively or defensively. We were mentioning a moment ago, Bob, that I think the weather can be a factor tonight. I think which team can get more people into the ball game and rest their starters, whether they be offensive or defensive starters, might have a leg up on the other team. And I think the Panthers will play more people from offense to defense than the Indians will, but we'll see how that develops as the game progresses.
Mark Kreitcher will kick off for the Panthers. Chris Green and Kyle Williams drop back to their own 5-yard line. Dick Ziegler is the referee. Lee Reddy, the umpire. Barry Kime, the head linesman. Mark Berner, the line judge. And Mark Caesar, the back judge. A nice crowd on hand, 2-3 deep around the track. Kreitcher kicks off and we are underway. Not so fast. The ball goes out of bounds on the kickoff. And before we even get a play in, we have a yellow flag. We hope that is not an omen.
I don't think so. But as you said, it would be unfortunate if this game were spoiled by yellow flags.
So Kreitcher will back up 5 and kick off again.
Penalties could be a factor in this ball game. Certainly, the more disciplined of the two teams, whichever team that turns out to be, will have fewer penalties, and that too will be a distinct advantage.
And that is also a fact of life on day 1 of the season. Kreitcher again to kick off. This one will stay in. Green from the 25. No blocking out there. Can he turn on the burners? He does. And he's out of bounds at the 35-yard line. So the Indians will open on offense, and this is the way they will look. Eckhart is the quarterback. Williams the fullback. Gombert and Green the running backs. You'll see Green splitting out as a flanker or a wide receiver a lot. Fry and Monk will alternate with the plays. Lush is the tight end.
Jason Pekka, one of the defensive starters for the Panthers, made that tackle on the opening kickoff.
And Lehighton right away goes out of the wishbone, putting Green in the slot. Option left, Eckhart to keep, and Eckhart going nowhere. Eckhart stopped by Brian Romanko, the defensive tackle. Here's the line for the Indians. Up front, Hawk. Now that's the Indian defense.
That's the Indian defensive line. You mentioned that they went out of the wishbone. There was still half a bone there. There was. Now here's a full wishbone, but there was half a bone there, and there's still half a bone, but he splits both ends and puts it back in the slot, but it's still half a wishbone.
Second and long, Eckhart to throw. He's got Lush, and it is in and out of his hands. that another factor with the passing game. You have to catch the ball.
And that's one of the things I'm very curious about for both teams. Will the Indians have somebody who can catch it? Will Panther Valley have somebody who can hold on to Kashulik's passes?
Here's the line for Lehighton. Andrews the center. Hawk and Smith the guards. Wentz and Nostein are the tackles. You would have seen Bobby Williams, but he underwent arthroscopic knee surgery the other day and could be lost for a while. Motion now with Green. They're going to throw again. My goodness, 2-in-1 drive. It is incomplete. Pressure by Mark Shermell, the blitzing linebacker for Panther Valley, and it is 4th and long.
And I said before the game, Bob, that I would be surprised if Lehighton threw the ball 15 times. They've already, as you pointed out, thrown it twice, both times unsuccessfully. I'm going to keep track and see if they do throw it 15 times. But if they don't have any more luck, the next time they go, he'll go back to that running game, I'm sure.
Eckhart to punt. Oh, this is a beauty. Fair catch called for and taken by Fenton Black at the 28. So it's 1st and 10 Panthers, and we turn to their offensive alignment. For the Panthers, there's Kashulik, the junior quarterback. Kane and Molaska will be keys if they can run the ball. Miller's the wingback. Black and Vermillion are the split ends. They will alternate. And Carnish is the tight end.
One of the things I'm very, very curious about is Kazi Kashulik's feet. Last year, I thought one of his problems was that he didn't always get set to throw the ball. I spoke to his father before the ball game, and he seems to feel that that problem has been taken care of.
They will run on 1st down to the right side. It is Molaska. He will not get too much, and it will be 2nd and long. Here is the front line for the Panthers. Shermell, the center. He's been there for a couple of years. Brabilla, Katchmar, Kreitzer, and Benduck. It is a 1-yard gain for Molaska, so it is 2nd and 9 for the Panthers. Straight ahead, this is Kane, and Kane will pick up about 6 or 7 yards. I believe Mike Lush was the man who came over and made the play.
Right.
If he doesn't, who knows?
Be interesting to see what the Panthers do here. It's one of those situations, 3rd and 4, in which one can either throw or run.
They will split a man over to the left, tight end wing right. A little confusion in the backfield. The first time they will throw, it is complete. Black, the defender had fallen, and Black gets across midfield to the 46-yard line. That is a 19-yard gain and the first down of the evening.
And the Lehighton, we're going to see it again, and hopefully we'll get a view. We can point out to our fans that the Lehighton defensive back is way off the ball here, and really there's no one near him. It was almost 15 yards downfield before Black ran into a Lehighton defender, and if the Lehighton secondary gives that much of a cushion all the time, you're going to see that pass a lot tonight.
1st and 10 Panthers. Miller in motion. They'll throw again, and again it is complete. Rich Vermillion, the receiver. Chris Green came over and made the play. Not a big gain, but a short throw.
But still a good first down pickup of about 4.5 yards, and any coach will take that as a first down play.
Hey, you can't give it away like that.
2nd down and about 6 for the Panthers. In a moment, we'll take a look at that Lehighton defense. 2nd and 6. Straight ahead, it's Kane. And Kane gets about 2 or 3. Mike Sterling, the linebacker, makes the stop. Here's the defense for Lehighton. Hawk is the nose guard. Started last year as a sophomore. At the second half of the season did well. Wentz and Andrews are the tackles. Blair and Lush are the ends.
And Hawk was at the bottom of that defensive pile that time.
All right, here's the linebackers and defensive backs. Sterling and Williams, they're pretty good. A quick defensive backfield. Gombert, Fry, Hibbler, and Green.
Okay, again, it's 3rd and 3 this time. Ball at the Lehighton 39-yard line, Bob. It'll be interesting to see what call the Panthers come up with here.
They have a power eye. They give to Kane straight ahead, and he will go nowhere. Kane goes nowhere. Mike Lush was in there on the pile to make the stop. It'll be 4th down and 3.
Terry Blair, 44, was also there with a good hit. That was at the bottom of the pile for the Indians. That call somewhat surprised me.
This one does too. 4th and about 3, deep in Indian territory. They're going to try and pin them deep. They punt. This one wobbles out of bounds at about the 17-yard line.
I'm sure Coach Bonner was hoping to get the ball deep in Lehighton territory and then hope for a turnover, a mistake on the part of the Indians, and get the ball even further down the field.
All right, it's 1st and 10 for the Lehighton Indians. Here's the Panther Valley defense. Reese the nose, Romanko and Sweeney the tackles, Pekka and Kreitcher the ends. Shermel and Pekka are the linebackers in the 52. Kane, Miller, Jones, and Black also make up a nice defensive backfield.
A lot of quickness in both backfields.
1st and 10, Indians. Back at about the 17. They run from the wishbone. Williams straight ahead, and a nice run by Kyle Williams, the fullback.
And that's a play that the Indians love to run, have run so successfully, ran so successfully last year, and that time it picked up about 6.
Romanko made the stop. Kyle Williams racked up over 800 yards, doing just about that, going straight ahead last year.
And you have to respect that play. Any defense designed for the Lehighton offense has to take that play into consideration right off the bat. They run it so well.
From the wishbone, has Dave Parsons abandoned it already? Straight ahead is the fullback Williams one more time. I stand corrected. Was that Gombert? It was Mike Gombert
yeah.
On the carry. Gombert straight ahead instead, picked up about 2 or 3. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
To provide a quick answer to your question about abandoning it so quickly, the answer, of course, is no. Field position here, I think, is the reason he's keeping the ball on the ground. Once he gets up the midfield, it'll be interesting to see what he does.
3rd and 2. They shift that wishbone to the right. That was successful for him last year also.
Right.
They hand off Green. He'll need some speed here, and he gets it. 1st down and more. Out of bounds across the 40-yard line.
Driven out by Black. Not only was Green's speed impressive there, as we'll see on the replay, but also his ability to shake off tacklers. A couple guys had some good shots at him. There's one, there's another one, and he just shook his shoulders and moved upfield rather nicely.
He turned a 2-yard loss into a 14-yard gain and an Indian 1st down. 1st and 10, Lehighton. Now they're out of bad field position. We'll see if they air it out. They shift to a power eye left. Gombert, left side, nowhere. Oh, he broke away from the original tackle, but was finally brought down. Jason Pekka and Mark Kreitcher were there to stop him. They'll give him 1. Nothing in there, as you'll see here.
Now, the defensive line of the Panthers did a fine job on that play, and there was just no running room for
2nd and 9. Double tight still, and they shift the wishbone to the right. Straight ahead, Williams breaks a couple. He's across midfield and is very close to an Indian 1st down.
And again, that favorite play of the Indians, just a quick hitter to Williams. I don't know if he picks aside after he gets the ball or what, but he's quick enough and a good enough runner to, I believe, do that. Probably it's predetermined which side of the center he's going. But he is in that hole very, very quickly, and that's what makes the play so successful.
They'll measure, and we'll see if they made it. That is close, and they do have it.
Now it'll be interesting, Bob, to see what Coach Parsons does. Now he's got the ball. in good field position. He's gotten it there by running the ball. But if he truly intends to mix it up, we may see a pass either on first or second down in this series.
So the Indians have gotten across midfield. They shift to a power I right and split a man left. That is Sean Monkway out there. Green in motion. Straight ahead, Gombert. He shakes a tackle. And another. Goodbye. Straight up the middle. 2 broken tackles and a touchdown for Mike Gombert. It's a 48-yard run for a score. Let's take a look at that again. Mike Gombert with the touchdown.
Good blocking on the left side. Good hole to begin with. And then Gombert does some fine running to break free. And then turns on the afterburners and goes, as you called it, the 48 yards. Got a good block from his fullback on that play, too. Kyle Williams did a nice job picking up a linebacker.
Green to kick the extra point. Hibbler to hold. It is good. With 4:18 left, first quarter, it is 7-0. Lehighton leads this one.
You wouldn't make an important purchase or a large investment without shopping around. So why purchase insurance any differently? At George I. LaRose Insurance, we realize that you want the most for your money. As independent agents, we are able to locate the best policy for you at the best price. LaRose Insurance isn't tied to any one provider, but can choose from among a wide range of policies from many companies. Best of all, LaRose Insurance does the comparison shopping for you. So contact George I. LaRose Insurance in Lehighton or Palmerton.
Join area sports fans after the game at the Sports Zoo located at the west end of Lansford. The Sports Zoo features entertainment every Thursday through Saturday. Stop in and order a bite from our zoo menu, which includes pizza, ham sandwiches, peel and eat shrimp, and nacho chips. The Sports Zoo is open Monday through Saturday from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. Join the zoo crew at the Sports Zoo, where nobody's ugly at 2 a.m.
An 82-yard drive, 6 plays for Lehighton. The capper, a 48-yard run by Mike Gombert. And to keep it alive, a third down run by Chris Green for 14 yards. That was almost a 2-yard loss.
And if the Indians continue to run the ball that well, Coach Parsons' plans to throw the ball will be junked very quickly.
Eckhart kicks off. It will be Brad Miller dropping the ball. Back to the 6. Still at the 6. And down at the 6. Boy, a nice hit by Lehighton made by Danny Steigerwald.
Certainly not what the Panthers needed after giving up that touchdown. One of the things assistant coach Kashulik mentioned before the ball game to me, Bob, was that in their 2 preseason scrimmages, the Panthers weren't scored upon, and he didn't know how the team was going to react to being scored upon if that indeed developed tonight, as it already has.
Well, we'll find out now. They run, or at least try to run, left side. Not successfully. Molaska brought down. Terry Blair, the defensive end, makes the play.
Yeah, nice tackle by Blair. He's been in on a couple already when the Panthers have tried to run to his side.
They will lose a yard on that one. It will be 2nd and 11. What a way to pump up a team. A 48-yard touchdown run, a fumble by the other team on the kickoff, and then a 1-yard loss defensively. Kashulik to throw out of his own end zone. He's got a man deep downfield. He's got him. Carnage. Fumble the ball.
That'll be interesting to see what the officials rule.
Oh, my goodness. Kyle Williams came up with the ball. He caught it and turned.
Could have been ruled an incomplete pass. I agree with the call, but had it been ruled the other way, I would not have been terribly surprised.
Let's take a look at that again and see if we can find out what happened. Because surely this is brave throwing out of your own end zone. But a nice throw.
Definitely the right call.
He just dropped the ball.
Yeah. Things like that happen.
It was a 35-yard pass reception and then a fumble.
Now here's a great opportunity for the Indians to throw the ball.
They shift to a one-back offense. Green in motion. Option right. Eckhart keeps. Eckhart cuts up and turns it into about a 6-yard gain. Fenty Black came up and made the stop from his defensive backfield spot. It's a 6-yard gain. It's second down. And make it a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5.
Yeah, the Panthers did not play that option play very well. There was really no pressure on Eckhart as he came to the corner, and he could have pitched or keep the ball, which of course is what he did.
Penalty markers fly. And the Indians are called for illegal procedure.
Called very emphatically for illegal procedure, too, I might add.
They didn't even get to the line. I think he said something about the guard or center moving across the ball. That is one of the odder calls I've seen.
I'd be surprised because it was the referee who made the call, and he would not be in a position to see if somebody went across the line of scrimmage.
So it is 2nd down and 9. The bone shifts to the left. Williams through a hole into the open, breaks a tackle. It could be another one. Touchdown, Kyle Williams. It is a 38-yard touchdown run for Kyle Williams.
And as we've said before, he runs that play as well as it can be run. He is into that hole as quickly as I've seen any back.
Wow, we could take a look at that and see how he got through there. Big hole, and then he broke a couple of tackles.
Good job by the offensive line, and then his quickness.
Green again for the extra point. High snap. Hibbler has trouble, but he has a man open. Lush, and the 2-point conversion is good. Everything going right for the Indians here in the first quarter. 1:43 remains. First quarter, it is 15-0 Lehighton. More in a moment. For friendly service and lots of bargain buys, shop at John and Bob's Friendly Market, located at 22 East Ridge Street in downtown Lansford. Stop in and see for yourself.
Shays is the place to go for all your hardware needs. They have a large variety of hardware and plumbing supplies and an extensive houseware selection. They also have a lawn and gardening center, which lacks nothing. Shays has one of the largest and most complete paint and wall covering departments, featuring Pratt & Lambert and Moralo paints, and more than 500 in-stock wallpapers to choose from. They have the finest professional help with more than 40 years experience in solving your paint problems and also matching colors.
So Lehighton with another big play, and they lead it by 2 touchdowns here in the first quarter.
And everything's going their way. At this point, the Panthers have to be shaking their heads and wondering if they haven't been snake bit here tonight.
Kane is out to the 30-yard line, and that is where the Panthers will put the ball in play 1st and 10. Mark Sterling made the stop for Lehighton.
A receiver wide open in the secondary, catches the ball, sprinting downfield, and all of a sudden he drops it to have the other team recover it. Then on that broken extra point attempt, the Indians come up with 2 instead of the 1 that they were going for.
The Panthers really need to get something started here. A pitch to the right side for Molaska. To the outside. He'll break a couple of tackles. And he is out of bounds across the 50 at the 47-yard line.
23-yard gain for the Panthers, and as you said, they need to get something going, and they did.
This time we'll see it is the Panthers breaking the tackle.
And you'll see some good blocking out in front. Two linemen over there get out in front of
Nice seal by Miller, too.
Yeah.
That's the second first down for the Panthers.
I think it is safe to say that although the Indians are leading 15-0, this game isn't over by a long shot.
Especially if the Panthers put something together. Kosholek to throw. Throwing near side. This one is complete to Carnish. He'll break a tackle and head in for the touchdown. Big play night here in the first quarter. We'll see that again. A 47-yard pass. Carnish, Green couldn't hold on.
And a nice job that time by Kosholek. He was under some pressure, but he got his shoulders turned, he got his feet set, and he put the ball right in the mark. Last year, I think he'd have tried to throw that ball on the move and would not have been nearly as successful.
They will go for two here. It's a double tight set with a wing and a timeout. Timeout Panthers. So the big play goes the Panthers' way.
Yeah, I've always felt that that's such a wasted timeout to have to take a timeout prior to an extra point. And I'm sure Coach Bonner probably feels the same way, although...
Especially in the first quarter.
Right.
So Coach Bonner comes out, and I think half of what he's saying out there is what you said. Hey, we have to be ready for this.
Right. Carnish redeemed himself on that play after earlier catching a ball and then dropping it for a fumble. That time he made a nice catch, broke a tackle, and went the final 20 yards for the touchdown. So his morale will be back up after having dropped that pass.
And Kazi Kosholek is 4 for 4 passing the football. Coaches are finished.
Certainly this game gives every indication of being a high-scoring game, which, again, doesn't surprise me in the least.
The way these two teams talked about offense in the preseason, you had to guess. Motion to the right. That would have given 3 receivers to the right and a whistle. The penalty is illegal procedure against the Panthers.
And that just drives you wild. There the coach was out there talking to them, making sure everybody understood what was to be done, come up over the ball, and get hit with an illegal procedure penalty.
Normally you would kick in this situation, but with a team with a nice passing attack like Panther Valley, this is actually a plus. It gives them more room.
Right.
Kosholek to throw. Plenty of time. Floats it up. It is intercepted. So the 2-point conversion is no good. The interception made by Danny Fry. And with 1:03 remaining in the first quarter, it is 15-6. Lehighton. More in a moment. For friendly service and lots of bargain buys, shop at John and Bob's Friendly Market, located at 22 East Ridge Street in downtown Landsport. Stop in and see for yourself. So the big play turns around to the Panthers this time. So it's been a big play night.
And as we've mentioned, there's a lot of offensive talent in this football field tonight, so that the big plays certainly come as no surprise to anyone who is familiar with these two teams. It would have been surprising if we didn't see a lot of big plays.
Mark Reicher will kick off for the Panthers. Green and Williams are back at their own 10. Reicher, the straight-on kicker, kicks it off the side of the foot, and that one goes out of bounds. That's the second time they've been penalized, and Lehighton will make them kick it again.
Reicher starts leaning back rather than keeping his body and momentum forward as he approaches the ball. He starts leaning back, which means he lifts his hips up, hips come up, the leg comes up, and he hits the ball off center. He's got to lean in.
Who do you think's sweating more, Dave Parsons or the guy standing next to him, Bobby Eckhart?
I'll tell you, we're sweating up here.
Or us.
All right.
For us.
Everybody here tonight is sweating. It's a hot, humid night. Game's being played 24 hours too early. Tomorrow night would be a beautiful night according to the weather forecast.
Green starts at the 28 and gets back to the 35, and that is where Lehighton will put the ball in play, 1st and 10.
John Williams, 61 there to make the tackle for the Panthers.
That drive, by the way, 70 yards, 2 plays. So the Panthers strike quick, and almost philosophically, you say this one is not over, and right away the Panthers are back into it. 1st and 10, Lehighton. That's Lehighton, of course, in the maroon, the Panthers in the white. Straight ahead, again, another couple of broken tackles. Williams has a 1st down and about a 14-yard gain.
Obviously, the Panthers, Bob, have not made any defensive adjustments to stop Williams straight ahead, and until they do, they're going to have a tough time.
4 carries for 67 yards to this point for Kyle Williams.
It's just straight ahead blocking. The Panthers are in a 5-2 monster defense, and the blocking pattern straight ahead, man on man, and obviously the Indians are getting out there and doing the job. Nothing fancy about it. Here it is again.
Same play, but this one has a lot less success.
So now they'll go away from it for a while, but you can bet they'll be back to it before the night's over.
The stop made on the play by Joe Kachmar, the defensive tackle, and that is the end of the 1st quarter. Lehighton leads it 15-6 after 1.
With over 30 years' experience, Hager Furniture is where quality is affordable. They have a complete line of furniture, carpeting, accessories, interior designs, and bedding. Hager has a competent and friendly staff of workers. Service is their specialty. Hager offers free wall-to-wall carpet estimates, free delivery, free decorating service, and special orders. They also offer convenient credit plans to suit your budget. For service and values, come to Hager Furniture, located on Delaware Avenue in Palmerton.
Lehighton has its 2nd down and 9 to start the 2nd quarter. They lead it by a score of 15-6, and penalty markers fly, motion on the Lehighton offense.
Somebody missed the start count. That would have been an interesting call, 2nd and 9. Would have been interesting to see if Coach Parsons had stuck to the ground or if he had thrown on 2nd down there. Now I would anticipate that he would throw, and I would anticipate a screen pass.
Mm-hmm. By all indications, it looked like a run because of the straight-ahead block that the man who had taken off was about to make.
Right. I would look for a screen here.
To a one-back offense they go. Green in motion. Eckhart to throw. Pressure is on. He is dropped and penalty markers fly.
Going to get a face mask call.
Vinny Sweeney was the first man coming in. And I think it might have been him who gets called on that face mask. Also there, Jason Pekka, the other defensive end. And Lehighton will, of course, take this one. Kachmar also there.
Yeah, Kachmar, I think. In fact, I think it was Kachmar who was the second man there and probably got called for the face mask.
So a face mask called against the Panthers, and oddly enough, it puts it right back where we were a moment ago, 2nd and 9. That's the 4th penalty for 30 yards on the Panthers.
See what the Indians do here, 2nd and 9.
They shift one step to the right and go straight ahead with Williams, and he goes nowhere. Vinny Sweeney came in and put a lick on him. So did Joe Kachmar and Brian Romanko. And it'll be 3rd and 9.
With 3 Panthers on Williams that time right at the line of scrimmage, one would assume that they are now keying on him and that there should be more possibilities for the other 2 Indian backs. We'll see if that is indeed the case here on 3rd down and 9, although this certainly is a passing situation. Although he stays in the full bone.
Green on the handoff. Has some room. Stutter steps. If he stays in bounds, he has a big gain, and he does. He's inside the 30-yard line.
Knocked out of bounds on the far side by Mark Shermale.
See it again. They love to use his speed.
See, and what he did that time, Bob, was he sent Williams left. It was a counter play and went the other way with Green, and because everybody's keying on Williams, Green was able to turn the corner and turn it into a big play.
It is a 25-yard run and the 6th first down for the Indians here in the first half.
It was also a 3rd and 9, and he ran the ball.
They'll run again. This time, it is Gombert having the shirt taken off him. Vinny Sweeney in there on the stop. So was Jonathan Pekka, the junior linebacker. It's a gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
You're going to see the Indians going more to the outside as they did on that Green play, because now the Panthers are ganging up inside to stop Williams, certainly. And that time it was also an inside play with Gumbert carrying, and the Panthers were there. Watch for Lehighton to go to the outside a bit more on the ensuing plays.
That's Danny Fry, who splits to the right. Lush tight to the left from the bone. Eckhart to throw. Eckhart throwing deep near side, incomplete, off the fingertips of Mike Lush. Jimmer Kane, the corner, was there in coverage.
Nice throw that time by Eckhart. He had a little pressure on him, but he held his ground as the pressure was applied and threw a nice ball.
Let's see if Jimmer Kane got a hand on this one. Came across and he probably waved in front of Lush's face, which is almost as good as getting a hand on the football.
Right. Good play all around that time.
So Bobby Eckhart is 0 for 3 passing. 3rd and 7.
And the Indians are going to run the ball here, and they're going to run outside, probably with Green.
They shift the bone, this time to the right. Play action fake, Eckhart to throw. Throwing right side, this one is complete, still in bounds. And finally out of bounds, Mike Lush inside the 10-yard line. Tiptoed the sideline. Mike Lush with the reception and the first down.
Eckhart's first completion, and it's a nice ball. It's right there. Lush makes a nice catch on it. And Coach Parsons obviously wants to give Eckhart some confidence. That was a 2-down situation, considering the field position. And as I predicted they would run the ball. They did not, because Coach Parsons wants to give Eckhart some confidence by throwing in crucial situations.
How would you like to see a 6 foot, 205-pound tight end do a tightrope walk? Let's take a look and see Mike Lush. In fact, I even think he thought he was out of bounds.
A strike.
Oh. Stay in, and finally out of bounds.
But a strike from Eckhart.
Now, the question was, can Eckhart throw and throw well? Well, you saw it there. 9:42 remains here in the first half. Lehighton leads it. We'll be right back.
Hey, buddy, want to make $1 million the easy way? You could step into the ring. You could launch the new fragrance. Or you could play the HBO TV Guide Quest for the Best Game. Play daily in TV Guide and nightly on HBO. So hold on to that game card for your daily chance to win over 8,000 cash prizes. Play the HBO TV Guide Quest for the Best Game and make your first million the easy way. Or try brain surgery.
Valley Athletic Supply knows when you play hard. Valley Athletic Supply knows you need the best. That's why Valley Athletic Supply has Russell Athletic, so you can do what you do better. Russell Athletic, available at Valley Athletic Supply.
Lehighton leads this one by a touchdown. They are threatening here. It is 1st and goal from about the 5-yard line. Fry splits to the right. The Bone shifts to the left. Gomberg jumps over one would-be tackler and then finally gets dropped. Looked like Mark Shermell in there, the linebacker who made the stop. Got about 3. It is real tight in there. 2nd down and goal from the 2.
It's going to be very, very difficult to keep the Indians out of the end zone. Too many people to defend.
Lehighton trying to answer the Panther Valley touchdown. From the 2, penalty markers fly. This one comes from the back judge, and that should be too much time.
Right.
It is. That's the 2nd penalty against Lehighton. They have been dropped back 10 yards on flags tonight.
That one is, again, one you just don't want to take.
So instead of 2nd and goal from the 2, it is 2nd and goal from the 7. We'll see if Lehighton uses more of the open field. The Bone shifts to the right. Eckhart to use the extra room. Throwing. Does he have it? No. Incomplete. Mike Lush with a diving try. Nearly came down with it. Let's see if...
And we've got a penalty, personal foul. Roughing the passer.
Let's take a look again. Now, good call, but just at the beginning of that play, just as he let go of the ball, you see the man charging at Eckhart. So Lehighton's going to get another try at this one. This one will be half the distance. 3.5 yards. It will again be 2nd and goal. Well, it is an automatic 1st down, so it will be 1st and goal from the 4. So Lehighton has 4 tries here. Monk to the right. Lush tight to the left. The handoff is to Gomberg. He gets hit near the line of scrimmage and driven back. The man who grabbed his leg was the linebacker Mark Shermell and Jonathan Pekka. So the two linebackers came in. One grabbed the leg, one hit him high, and no touchdown.
He made a nice move. Gummert made a nice move on that play, trying to get back to the inside. The hole wasn't exactly where he thought it was, as you can be able to see here. There was that move inside, but the defense reacted real well. Good play all around.
2nd and goal from the 2. The normal wishbone behind Eckhart. Now they put Green in motion. Send Williams straight ahead. Does he have it? Touchdown. Kyle Williams straight ahead. They use Green as the diversion and send Williams straight ahead for his 2nd touchdown of the evening. We'll see Williams go in. There's Green, and you notice it moved the middleman away, and they ran right at it.
Yeah, and a good example of Williams' all-around ability. We've talked about his quickness before. That time he showed his power because he was hit right about the line of scrimmage, but powered his way into the end zone.
Another high snap, but they get it down and kick it through. Exactly 8 minutes remain here in the first half. The Indians lead.
How have you been doing? I haven't seen you since the wedding.
I've been fine. John and I have been looking into getting a life insurance plan. Where do you have your insurance?
My husband and I have our plan with George I. LaRose.
Tell me about him.
He's an independent agent with an experienced team working under him that can answer all your questions and help you with all your insurance needs.
Well, do you have his card? I'd like to talk it over with my husband.
Well, sure, I'll get it for you. Then you can give him a call.
Well, then I'll show you the pictures from the honeymoon.
Lehighton leads it. Hi there. Some of the throng here at Lehighton High School. This one different. Not the big play. 65 yards, 12 plays for the Indians.
Some big plays in the drive, though. Some nice passing by Eckhart. Some good running by Green.
Kickoff coming up short. Miller still on his feet out to the 40-yard line. 1st and 10, Panthers, and they will start from their own 40-yard line. So good field position for Panther Valley on this possession.
Mark Sterling, I believe, the tackler for the Indians on that kickoff.
We'll see if the Panthers can answer. Vermillion comes wide to this side. They have Miller as the wingback left. They pitch to that side. This is the fullback, Malaska, looking for room and run out of bounds. Somebody took a lick. Somebody with a nice block from the Panthers over there. And an Indian looked like Pepper Johnson against the Eagles last year.
Nice effort by Malaska. He good back. Panther fans are going to see a lot of him this year.
That's a 5-yard gain for the Panthers.
He's only a junior. They'll see a lot of him for 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Kosholik with plenty of time to throw. Over the middle. Complete to Black. He shakes the tackle inside the 30 and pulled out by Chris Green. It is a 26-yard pass play from Kosholik to Fenton Black. And a first down, and Kosholik is 5 for 5.
And this was a crossing pattern. And Black came across the middle after someone had cleared out that area. And he knows what to do with the ball once he catches it. I heard before the season that Lehighton was having some difficulty with their pass defense. And the fact that Kosholik is 5 for 5 tonight would indicate that what I heard was in fact correct.
Tom Bonner, before the season, talked about his quarterback trying to cut down on interceptions. He has, and has been superb tonight. Lehighton leads this one but Panther Valley is driving.
One gram of cocaine costs as much as a boombox. 3 grams of cocaine costs as much as a TV. 7 grams, a trip to Paris. A gram a week for a year, a new car. If you're on coke, everything you work for is disappearing. Right under your nose.
Lehighton leads this one 22-6. Panther Valley has it 1st and 10. They have just picked up their 5th first down. Handoff to Jimmer Kane. Kane across the 25 down to the 24-yard line. Lush and Hibbler made the stop for Lehighton.
Lush doing yeoman service both ways tonight. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep it up in this heat and humidity.
2nd and 4 for the Panthers. The Panthers putting on a nice drive themselves here. And that is exactly what Tom Bonner wanted to do. Mix in those runs with the pass. Go about 50-50. Miller in motion. Koschulik to throw. Koschulik throws left. This one is complete. Hibbler has him, but that'll be a first down. Fenton Black is the receiver. And the Panthers have another first down.
Hibbler didn't give Black that much of a cushion that time, and he reacted much better to the ball, so that as soon as the ball was caught, Hibbler was there to make the tackle.
Koschulik is 6 for 6 passing.
So he's putting on an exhibition, and he's answered one of the questions that I had, and I mentioned earlier about his feet. He keeps his feet pretty well set, although that time he wasn't as set as he might have been.
But it is complete, good for about 4 yards. Rich Vermillion makes the catch. A gain of only 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7, and Koschulik is 7 for 7.
That also was the poorest ball he has thrown tonight. Yeah, that Lehighton secondary is going to get a workout. Last year against Koschulik, Chris Green, I believe, had 4 interceptions.
He did.
So far, that has not been the case tonight.
Koschulik to throw again, looking left side, incomplete. Hibbler was covering. Matt Carnish was the intended receiver. And that is the first incomplete pass by Kazi Koschulik.
He got some pressure that time, and I believe pretty much threw the ball away.
He is 7 for 8, Koschulik, for 142 yards passing tonight. Back to pass again. A tripped over Jimmer Kane's leg as he faked, and Kane went for the block. And they'll lose about 6 yards.
That certainly hurts. Brings up a 4th and 12 situation.
And Lehighton has to know that he's going to throw the football here. Would you run? Would you go for something like a draw play?
No. The only thing that I might do would be to screen rather than throw the ball upfield, but I don't think that's what they'll do. I think they'll go down the middle.
Play action fake. Koschulik throws over the middle. This one is incomplete.
And you can thank the Lehighton forward wall for that.
Let's take a look again. Hibbler nearly picked this one off if he could have gotten turned. Miller was the intended receiver.
Hawk and Wentz were there, and they did a nice job. They didn't let Koschulik get set.
So the Panthers turn it over on downs.
That 3rd down play really hurt them. But Hawk and Wentz did a nice job putting pressure on Koschulik on that last play and made the job much easier for the secondary.
So Lehighton goes back the other way. They will start from their own 20, 21-yard line. Straight ahead, Williams pulls his way out to the 25-yard line.
Get a 5 on the play.
Kyle Williams with the knee kick and the shoulders going and the head bucking.
Yeah, he's just a fine fullback, fine runner. He can play halfback without any difficulty. He's got that kind of quickness and speed.
They were going to move him there and then realize they have a real good fullback and 2 good halfbacks.
Right.
2nd and 5. Gomber back the other way. Close to a first down. In fact, I think he has it.
Nice power football that time. If we can take another look at that one. There wasn't much of a hole, but the blockers stayed with their defensive men, and Gomber just powered in there behind those blockers and picked up good yardage. Nice play by the Indians.
Shermell and Pekka made the stop, and it is close enough for a measurement. So they'll measure. 3:46 remains here in the first half. It is 22-6. Lehighton leads. They have gotten runs of 38 yards and 2 yards by Kyle Williams, 48 by Mike Gomber. First down, Lehighton.
It's a big series for the Panthers. If they go in down 22-6, they're not out of it. If they go in down 28, 29, 30-6, it's going to be a long second half.
Lehighton with plenty of time to do something here. And another wrinkle to this offense could be the 2-minute offense being able to throw the football, something they have really not had in the past. Split end, slot right. They send Gombert out there. He comes in motion. Williams straight ahead, and Williams is grabbed and stopped.
Ketchmar and Shermale, the tacklers for Panther Valley.
Williams picks up 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9. They break out of the bone again. Fry and Gombert are out to the right. That's Gombert in motion. Option right. Williams, the give man, goes straight ahead and then bounces to the outside.
You don't see that play for the Indians that much. Williams usually runs right over his guards. Rarely does he run outside the guards as he does on that play. We'll take another look at it, and you'll notice that he is actually outside his own offensive tackle on this play. And that's not where he's accustomed to running, although he's certainly capable.
3rd and 8, Lehighton. The ball is at the 33. From the wishbone with the wide receiver right. They pitch to Green. Green trying to find some room to use his speed. Gets grabbed and ridden out of bounds on the far sideline. Billy Reese, the nose guard, stretching out to get outside and make the play. John Bashago, who was in on that one too from the cornerback spot, comes up and helps out. And it is 4th and about 4 or 5 for Lehighton. And Panther Valley, expecting to get the ball back, takes a timeout.
Right, I believe that's their 3rd of the half, and thus their last.
So timeout, Panther Valley. 1:50 remains. 22-6 the score. Lehighton leads this one. And of course, Panther Valley with a nice passing attack so far tonight by Kazi Kashulik definitely has the guns to make up some room here in the last 2 minutes of this first half.
Right.
And they should expect to get the ball somewhere around their 30 or 40, depending on the punt and the run back. Bobby Eckhart will punt. Jimmer Kane and Fenton Black will drop back to their 35. Eckhart has trouble with the snap, then just barely gets it away. Black at the 26. up the far sideline, out of bounds just across the 30-yard line. Terry Blair made the stop for Lehighton. And Panther Valley has 1 minute and 38 seconds to do something here before they head in for halftime. And they have about 67 yards to go.
One thing I'll be interested to watch in the time that remains is whether or not the Panther offensive line can give Koshulik more time to throw. He's been under pressure quite a few times tonight, and that certainly doesn't help the passing attack.
Koshulik rolling right. Pumps. Has nobody open. Being chased. Bush can't get him. Now he has some room. Throws downfield. It is complete.
Nice job by Koshulik that time. A good scramble. We're not going to have time to see it again because they're going with a hurry-up offense.
It's a 15-yard gain and a first down for Panther Valley. And he will throw it right out of bounds. He just wanted to stop the clock. Look at Tommy Bonner. Is he getting his Irish up or what?
Koshulik's going over there as though it's a timeout, which it is not. He's got to hustle back because he does not have more than the allotted 25 seconds.
The clock is stopped with the incomplete pass, though. Split ends again to either side. There's the time. They throw quickly to the left side, complete to Vermillion. Vermillion tiptoes down the sideline and gets out of bounds. That's a 14-yard gain. Run out of bounds by Sterling, but it will stop the clock.
Right. Vermillion took somewhat of a chance that time in that instead of going out of bounds right away, he came inside and he could have been tackled before he got out of bounds. I think we'll have a chance to see that again. And had he not gotten out of bounds, I think Coach Bonner might have been a little bit upset. But after he made that move to the inside, he quickly got back out and did step out of bounds to pick up another first down.
Darrell Snyder, the other junior linebacker, was also in on the play. That play, of course, is designed to get the ball out there, get as much yardage as you can, and then when you run out of room, you just step out of bounds.
And it worked out all right that time for Vermillion, but had he not gotten out of bounds, why, Coach Bonner would have been upset.
When Koshulik threw the ball out of bounds 2 plays ago, though, I wonder if Tommy Bonner was looking for that play. That's the reason why he was so upset, instead of just getting rid of it out of bounds.
It could be that in their 2-minute offense, that's after a first down, that's a play they automatically run, and so there was no need to waste the down. As it turns out, it didn't matter.
There is exactly 1 minute remaining in the first half. Lehighton leads it 22-6. Panther Valley has it 1st and 10, just inside the Lehighton 40-yard line.
The Panthers, sooner or later, I think, are going to go down the middle.
Koshulik pumps once, then throws complete on the far side, and out of bounds at the 24 is Fenton Black.
That was a sideline and up, but Black didn't get much of a chance to turn upfield. I think he was grabbed as he tried to make the move, as we see it again. I think Black was grabbed on the far side. He makes the out move there. Yeah, he was momentarily stopped, and so Koshulik hit him early.
1st and 10 Panthers. They have 9 first downs here in the first half. Black and Miller go left. Koshulik with pressure, throwing for the end zone. Green nearly intercepts it, and then Carnage nearly comes up with the football.
But there again, the pressure on Koshulik was the determining factor in that play. His lineman did not pick up as he tried to bootleg. We'll see it again. He's going to roll this way after faking the other way, and there he's under pressure from Lush. And there was a blocker at Lush's hips, but couldn't get to him.
Green nearly came up with his 5th interception in 2 games against the Panthers. And then Carnage nearly came up with a circus catch. Koshulik throwing.
Here's the hook and lateral, and it's, the beautiful defensive play by Green.
Did he read that or what?
Yes.
Malaska was the ladder man. Well, they're going to get right up to the line of scrimmage. We'll see that hook and ladder again real quick. Here's the pitch. Panthers are back throwing to the corner. He's got a touchdown.
And no call. Some bumping over there, but I think the official felt that both players were bumping each other. One didn't do any more than the other, and so it's going to stand as a touchdown.
Benton Black with the touchdown reception. And the Panthers have called a timeout. 68 yards in 6 plays in under 2 minutes for the Panthers. What a 2-minute drill by Panther Valley. That was impressive.
Yes, it was. They did a lot of good things. That hook and ladder was something I can remember using when I was in high school. That's a few years ago, and you don't see it much anymore, and they ran it to perfection. Had Green not reacted as beautifully as he did, why the Panthers would have scored on the previous play to this last one, which ended in the end zone.
So the Panthers are right back in it here. They will go for 2. I'm surprised they still had a timeout.
Yeah, so am I. I didn't think they did, but evidently one of the timeouts that was taken during the first half was a Lehighton timeout rather than a Panther Valley.
They will go for 2. Kashok to throw. Left side incomplete. So the 2-point conversion is no good, but the Panthers have scored again. 21 seconds are left. It is 22-12. Lehighton leads this one. And a couple of 2-point conversions that haven't gone through have hurt the Panthers. They're 10 back.
Right, and one lucky 2-point conversion for the Indians at this point looms big, because they got a 2-point conversion when the snap was high from center, and the holder made a nice adjustment and threw for a 2-point conversion.
So the Panthers will kick here, and with 21 seconds, I'd have to guess that Kreitzer wants to reach back and kick this thing up on top of the hill.
Well, certainly what he wants to do is keep it in bounds. I'm surprised he moves it to this hash mark, considering that he's kicked it out of bounds to this side before.
Joe Kaczmar is, in fact, the man who will kick off, though. The punter. Williams at the 15. Straight ahead, just puts his head down and gets out across the 35. The Indians have 15 seconds to do something here. We'll see if they air it out, but that clock will run as soon as the ball is set.
I will be surprised if they even snap the ball, but then Coach Parsons rarely likes to waste a down.
They are in no hurry. They will let the clock run out. So there it is. A wild first half from Lehighton. The Indians lead it by a score of 22-12. It is halftime.
Join area sports fans after the game at the Sports Zoo located at the west end of Lansford. The Sports Zoo features entertainment every Thursday through Saturday. Stop in and order a bite from our zoo menu, which includes pizza, ham sandwiches, peel and eat shrimp, and nacho chips. The Sports Zoo is open Monday through Saturday from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. Join the zoo crew at the Sports Zoo, where nobody's ugly at 2 a.m.
trumpet, right base. Quickly, drum majors, real quick. Drum majors, Katrina Sissinger and Karen Sissinger. Is the band ready? And now, ladies and gentlemen, for your listening pleasure, the music and motion of the 1991-92 Lehighton High School Marching Band.
With over 30 years' experience, Hager Furniture is where quality is affordable. They have a complete line of furniture, carpeting, accessories, interior designs, and bedding. Hager has a competent and friendly staff of workers. Service is their specialty. Hager offers free wall-to-wall carpet estimates, free delivery, free decorating service, and special orders. They also offer convenient credit plans to suit your budget. For service and values, come to Hager Furniture, located on Delaware Avenue in Palmerton.
TV 13 Sports. High school football. Panther Valley and Lehighton is being brought to you by John and Bob's Market in Lansford. By the Sports Zoo, also in Lansford. By Hager Furniture in Palmerton. LaRose Insurance of Palmerton and Lehighton. By Valley Athletic Supply in Lansford. And by Shays Hardware in Palmerton. Bob Capasso and Jim Nonamaker back out at Lehighton. The Indians lead this one 22-12. First half numbers, the Indians have run for 192 yards and passed for just 22 for 214. The Panthers are on the opposite side of that. They've run for 38 and passed for 209 yards for a total of 247.
No surprises there.
Kazi Kashulik, 12 for 15 for 209 yards and 2 touchdowns, passing the football. Matt Carnish, 2 receptions, 82 yards and a touchdown. Fenton Black, 6 for 91 and a touchdown. Panther Valley will open on the run back. Fenton Black into the open. Eckhart is just going to be able to pull him down across the 50.
2 safeties for the Indians on that kickoff, Bob, and Eckhart, one of them, did his job and prevented Black from taking it all the way, but a big hole straight up the middle as we see it again.
Fenton Black with some nice blocking.
Almost overran that ball and bobbled it.
Look at the hole. Boy, I could have run through that.
Well, don't get carried away here on opening night.
Maybe. All right, the Panthers have it 1st and 10. Kashulik, the quarterback, having a superb night.
I think we're going to see the Panthers try to establish a running attack here at the beginning of the second half.
Straight ahead, it's Molaska on the carry. Mikey Lush is in there on the tackle for Lehighton. So is Steve Hawk, the nose guard. Ryan Wentz was also around the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 8. Justin Molaska, 5 carries, 29 yards in the first half. The Panthers were penalized 5 times for 34 yards, had 1 turnover, a fumble, and 9 first downs. 2nd and 8 Panthers. Kashulik to throw. Deep for Miller. This one is tipped away and incomplete. Danny Fry was the man who got his hand on it, and Chris Green not happy with his teammate. He thought he could have had the interception.
Some contact down there. The Panther Valley bench, as we'll see it again on replay, not pleased that a flag wasn't thrown. See if we get a view of it. Yeah, I believe he was tripped. Whether or not it was incidental contact, I'm not sure. But there was some contact, and the Panthers over there hollering out at the officials for not calling it.
Kashulik completed his first 7 passes tonight. 3rd and 8. Kashulik to throw again. Over the middle. This one is complete for a first down.
Nice throw, nice catch. And nice defense by Green.
A 13-yard gain for the Panthers. We'll see it again.
It's just a crossing pattern. And Koshulik that time threaded the needle. It was a well-thrown ball, nice catch coming across the middle. Good play.
Fenton Black picks up the first down for the Panthers. The Panthers on an early drive.
I'm beginning to wonder if they're really going to try to establish the run or if they're just going to throw every down.
They'll run straight ahead. Jimmer Kane goes nowhere.
On the carry.
The stop made by Mikey Lush and Terry Blair, the defensive ends.
And that was simply a dive play, almost a token run. Well, we better run it every once in a while just to keep everybody happy or keep the defense honest. But I firmly anticipate seeing that play that they're going to come back and throw here on second down.
2nd and 9, the Panthers with the first possession of the second half here. Play action fake for Koshulik. Deep drop. Wants to throw but cannot. Mike Lush is having an excellent night at defensive end.
Yes, he is.
Let's see Lush make that play again. It looks like they're setting up the screen. Deep drop, and Mike Lush throws Koshulik for the loss.
Yes, and Koshulik's been under quite a bit of pressure all night long.
About a 13-yard loss on the sack.
Screen draw!
You can hear the Lehighton sidelines yelling screen or draw. And certainly that is a possibility in this type of situation.
3rd and a lot. Koshulik wants to throw again. Pressure's on. Throwing deep left side. This one is up for grabs. Incomplete.
Yes, and the intended receiver was well covered. There were 2 Indians there, and really that pass didn't have much of a chance of being completed.
Black was the intended receiver. Green and Hibbler were in coverage, the 2 safeties. And it will be 4th and long, and Green looks to be shaken up.
Limping as he comes off, but the fact that he's able to come off under his own power certainly is a good sign. I don't know if you've noticed this, Bob, but it seems to me that Black is becoming the only receiver for Koshulik, and if that continues to be the case, why teams are going to start keying, and he's going to have to go to some other receivers. Early he went to Carnish as tight end, but he hasn't done that in a while.
Catchmar to punt. Williams is deep, and they'll throw, and they'll complete it. And this will be a first down.
Unbelievable.
Miller on the reception. A 23-yard gain from the punter Catchmar. Let's take a look again.
Yes, we
at
must.
This throw. Wow.
Just a gutsy call. We see the tail end of it, and Miller went flying down that sideline, knew exactly where that first down marker was, and dove for it to pick up the first down at the Lehighton 23-yard line. Great play when it works.
The Indian defense a little bit shaken here. They have to make sure they get someone in there for Green. They'll pitch left side. Malaska breaks a couple of tackles, and he is near another first down for Panther Valley. Mike Lush, 10 yards downfield, makes the play. Let's take a look again as the Indians will call timeout.
Some good defense here initially by the Indians. Somebody showed well, but Malaska made some nice moves to extend the pickup from about 4 yards to 10 yards. A nice job by Malaska.
Confusion reigned for the Indians. They got Sean Monk in there at the last moment. They had to remember that Chris Green was not in there. He is shaken up and has not come back. And at the last moment, the Indians got Sean Monk out there.
Yeah, certainly we have to hope that Green's injury is not serious and that he will be able to return to the ball game, because he plays a major role in both the offense and defensive fortunes of the Indians. His quickness that makes the Indians an outside threat, and that, of course, enhances the inside game with Williams and Gumbert carrying the ball.
The first half numbers for Lehighton while we have a moment. Bobby Eckhart passing 1 for 5, 22 yards. That one reception made by Mike Lush. Chris Green, 3 carries, 43 yards. Mike Gumbert, 7 carries, 65 yards and a touchdown. Kyle Williams, 10 carries, 77 yards and 2 touchdowns. So the Indians have done it on the ground. The Panthers through the air. The Panthers on a nice drive here.
With that big fourth down play to pick up the first down, the major play in this drive.
From a full house backfield. They will pitch to the left side. Miller has the first down, or at least it would seem that way.
Student body left, and his sole goal was to get the first down and give the Panthers 4 more downs to put the ball in the end zone.
Let's take a look again. And
nothing fancy about it, just power sweep left. 3 blockers out in front. Alaska doing a nice job.
That is the 3rd first down in this drive for Panther Valley. The ball right around the Indian 10. Straight ahead, it is Malaska. He runs into a crowd. Williams, yeah.
At the bottom of the pile along with another Indian.
It'll be 2nd and 7 off the 3-yard gain.
That other Indian, Ryan Wentz, a defensive tackle.
Cassie looks real poised this year. Had some shaky moments as a sophomore, and that'll happen.
He's only thrown 1 or 2 poor balls tonight, I agree.
He'll throw here to the near side on the in pattern, incomplete. And a penalty marker comes from back deep in the end zone. The defender for the Indians was Sean Monk. And the back judge says that he hit him early. The call comes from Mark Caesar.
Defensive interference.
That was close. There's a bang-bang play that he makes the call on.
Yeah, I really didn't see it, so I can't begin to comment. All right, we don't have it on replay either, so I don't know, but it's been called.
And it will be an automatic first down. 1st and goal from the 4-yard line for Panther Valley. Looking to climb back into this one. Black wide to the right side. Play action fake, Kashulik to run. And he runs out of room.
Good defensive play over there on the far side by Hibbler. He was not fooled. Neither was Steve Hawk. I think he was out there from his nose guard position.
I think it was Stevie Hawk who got the hand on the foot to trip him up before Hibbler came over and finished him off.
That was a good call.
They'll lose a yard, and it will be 2nd and goal from the 5.
A good call, but an even better defensive play by the Indians.
Motion. That's Miller. Kashulik pitches to Malaska, who cuts back and gets to about the 2 or 3.
Nice reaction by Malaska. He wanted to go outside on the pitch, but the outside was shut off, and he quickly cut it back inside and picked up a couple of yards and got it down close to the goal line. We have that on replay. There he makes the nice adjustment and hits inside, tripped up by...
Looked like Sterling in there.
Yeah.
3rd and goal from the 3. Motion again, Miller. To the right. They pitch back to the left. Malaska looking for room. Breaks a tackle. He is in. Touchdown, Panthers.
Right.
What a drive for Panther Valley. Let's see the touchdown again.
Yeah, just a nice effort by Malaska. He's actually hit before he gets there, but refuses to go down and gets into the end zone.
And it looks as though the Panthers will go for 2 one more time.
Greedy, all right. Where's Greedy?
They will split 2 men left, have a tight end right. Kashulik to throw. Lots of time and a man open. It is Malaska for the 2-point conversion.
Now that time, that's the same pattern they tried to run the last time on the 2-point conversion, but Kashulik was more patient that time. Let Malaska get out there, turn to the outside, and let the play develop. Before it was done in too much of a hurry, and Malaska never had a chance to get open.
The Panthers are within 2 at Lehighton.
Valley Athletic Supply knows when you play hard. Valley Athletic Supply knows you need the best. That's why Valley Athletic Supply has Russell Athletic, so you can do what you do better. Russell Athletic, available at Valley Athletic Supply.
So the Panthers with the long drive. 5:48 remains here in the third quarter. And Joe Ketchmar, who kept it alive with a big pass to Brad Miller, will kick it off. At a fourth down on a fake punt. It'll come to the near side. Williams has trouble and wisely dives on it at the 24.
Up to the 24-yard line.
So things bouncing the other way now.
Right, the first half, the break seemed to go the Indians' way, but now the Panthers finding the ball bouncing in their direction.
This is the first possession for Lehighton here in the second half.
See if Green's in that offense. Yeah, he's in there at the left halfback spot, so he evidently is okay.
And a lot of Indian fans have just breathed a collective sigh of relief. They send Green in motion, an option that way. They will hand off to Gombert, and there's a pile of people on top of him.
Yep.
25, Mike Gombert.
There's a 3-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 7.
It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Black and Shermiel at the bottom of the pile for the Panthers. And soon that heat has to start taking its toll. And the kids who are going both ways, they've got to feel it.
2nd and 7 Indians. Fry left, Lush right. They shift that wishbone one step to the right. On 2nd down, the option right. The pitch is knocked away, and it looks like the Panthers have it. They do.
As we said, the break's gone the Panthers' way this half.
Wow. Talk about a momentum shift at halftime. Let's see this play again. It's an option.
Well, what happened there was Eckhart just got too deep. The option play is to be run straight down the line of scrimmage, but he was already 3 yards deep. He destroyed the ratio between himself and the pitch man. And that always creates a problem and makes the situation ripe for a fumble.
Mark Freitzer is the man credited with forcing the fumble. Kashulik to throw deep to the end zone. This one is caught. 2 men have got it. It's a touchdown. A great call. Miller and Fry had it together. Dual possession goes to the offense. That's a touchdown.
If we're going to see it again, now I think he's out of bounds. We'll see. I don't think the official paid attention to that.
Let's see. Oh, he is out of bounds. He was out of bounds.
I thought when he gained possession, he was out of bounds, but the official was right there.
Let's see that one more time if we can and see it. It looked like they were out of bounds. Dual possession again, inbounds goes to the offense, and that's what they were calling. Let's see. Oh, that left foot was the first one down out of bounds, but they call it good. It's a 20-yard touchdown play, and the Panthers are up for the first time. For 2, Kashulik throws to Malaska. It is good. Or excuse me, to Miller. Pardon me. Miller makes the catch, and the Panthers lead it 28-22. They have turned this one around.
Without your seatbelt on, cause if you do, you get the summertime blues. You better watch it now.
The Panthers have struck for 2 touchdowns here in the second half. The kickoff will go to Williams. 30, through a hole, 40, to the 41-yard line. Stopped there by Sean Gillespie for the Panthers, and it'll be 1st and 10 Indians.
Good field position. They can do anything they want with their offense. And now that they're behind, it's going to be interesting again to see what Coach Parsons goes to. The ground game, which I'm sure he feels most comfortable with, or the mixed game, throwing on first down or whenever it's unexpected.
Let's see if the Indians can come from behind.
I hear they're in an unbalanced line to the right, hoping to catch the Panthers sleeping.
Gombert in slow motion. They'll try and get it to him. And the defenders were there before Eckhart could get to Gombert to give him the football.
Yeah, there were some pulling linemen, and the Panther Valley defensive men just followed the linemen, and the linebacker stunted and went with a pulling lineman, and there they were. They were in the backfield in the play pattern before Gombert and Eckhart hooked up.
Credit nose guard Bill Reese, a 5'6", 153-pound sophomore, for making the great play.
And Shermale, the inside linebacker, also was stunning on that play. And when you're pulling guards and the defense is stunting, you're in trouble.
All of a sudden, the Indian attack has stalled a bit. They go to the one-back offense. Still an unbalanced line, but a wing left. Now motion left. Williams on the give, and he goes nowhere. It was the defensive tackle, Brian Romanko, who broke through and made the stop.
Nice tackle. Great defensive play. You're not going to see one man bring Williams down too many times in a football game, but Romanko did it there. And a nice job.
The Indians, to this point in the second half, have -2 yards offense.
Well, they haven't had the ball, 3 plays?
3, 4 including the fumble. An official timeout.
That time on that last play, the Indians had, as you pointed out, Bob, they one setback behind the quarterback. They spread everybody out, hoping, of course, to spread the defense and then run Williams inside. But the Panthers obviously keying on Williams. They know the Indians want to get the ball to him.
Green in motion. Eckhart to throw. Pressure is on. He throws right side. Nearly intercepted.
Tried to go to Green, but the ball was a little bit behind Green. Had it not been tipped by the defender, it still would have been incomplete.
John Bishago nearly picks this one off. Eckhart was looking for Green and threw it behind him.
Will Lehighton do something different on fourth down? They have their quarterback back there. Certainly they can do something different without immediately drawing suspicion.
He'll kick it away, though. Fair catch called for and taken by Jimmer Kane. The ball will be placed at the 34-yard line, 1st and 10 for Panther Valley. So the Panthers have had the ball for most of this second half. They drove and used about 8 minutes of the clock to score their first touchdown here in the second half. Justin Malaska going over from 3 yards out. And then off a fumble, Fenton Black came down with a 20-yard pass from Kasholik for the second score. One that looked out of bounds, but a great play by Black nonetheless.
Yeah, he wanted the football.
1st and 10 Panthers. They hand off to Black. Black spins for a yard or so. Or Jimmer Kane, excuse me. Jimmer Kane on the carry.
And Williams on the tackle for the Indians. Lehighton defense under pressure here. They've been scored upon twice already here in the second half, and they have got to come up with a big defensive series if they're going to keep their team in the ball game.
Another official timeout. 2nd and 9 for Panther Valley. Actually, about 2nd and 8.
You know, one thing we haven't seen tonight that sort of surprises me is an official's timeout to allow water to be brought out onto the field. Usually in games with in this kind of humidity, you'll see officials just call a timeout and say, get the water buckets out here and make sure that these kids don't dehydrate.
Well, it is very uncomfortable up here, and we are not running around with 10 pounds of equipment on us. Of course, we're not in the shape that some of these guys are. Kishalik to throw.
Speak for yourself, please.
Pressure on. Throwing deep. This one is complete at the 30 to the 20. Touchdown. That is Miller again.
They have no flags. But Kishulik's getting up and hobbling off the field.
That'll be about a 64-yarder. And look at this. Oh, Fry nearly had it tipped away.
Yes, but he got turned around. He could never locate the ball. But Kishulik, as you can see, Bob, being helped off the field over there. And certainly the Panthers cannot afford to lose Kazi Kishulik, although he's going to come back out for the extra point. So obviously the injury can't be too bad, and they call a timeout.
Timeout, Panther Valley. And lightning strikes again. The Panthers have been amazing here in the second half.
And in the last two scores, they haven't used many plays. That was 66 yards in 2 plays. The previous was 20 yards in 1 play.
And all of a sudden, it is the Panthers putting some distance between themselves and their opponent. In the first half, it looked like Lehighton might run away with it, but Lehighton cooled off a bit.
And now the Indians are under the gun because they're going to have to do that which they don't particularly like to do and that which they don't do real well, and that's put the ball in the air. Down by 12, possibly 13 or 14, they're not going to be able to just run the ball and power it out and hope to come from behind.
That new passing attack will be tested right here.
Yes.
But on the other hand, they cannot be too anxious. They have a lot of time. It's a whole quarter left, although they haven't been able to get any offense at all going. In fact, they've only run about 4 or 5 plays.
Right.
The Panthers will go for 2. Kishulik to throw. Throws over the middle. Incomplete. It was intended for Miller, but it is incomplete. 41 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. The Panthers have gone up by 12.
Football is coming at you. Make the catch with Blue Ridge Cable TV 13. Each week, we bring you the best in high school football. Catch your favorite teams from the best seat in the house. Opening day excitement comes your way this week as Lehighton hosts Panther Valley. Catch all the action on TV 13.
So it's been the Panthers here in the second half getting things going, and they will kick off leading 34-22. Catchmark kicks. This will be Green at the 15.
And the Panthers are pumped up now.
Stopped at the 30-yard line. Play made by Jason Pekka.
Babilla in on the stop too, number 71. And the Panthers were downfield that time, eager to make contact and bring Green down.
1st and 10, Lehighton. 20 seconds remain in the third quarter. Panther Valley has scored 3 times here in the third. Monk comes wide to the near side. The Indians break into a power I. Mike Lush is the tight end right. Green goes in motion. It'll be Gombert on the give left, and Gombert will get very little. Brad Jones, the strong safety, came up and made the play. It is a 2-yard gain for the Indians.
And the third quarter is history.
So that's the end of 3. The Panthers have come back and lead it by 12.
In the beginning, chaos reigned upon Charles. High prices plagued the land. But there was created a place where one could shop from the comforts of home. That place was Home Shopping Club, founded on the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not pay retail.
Bob Capasso and Jim Nonamaker back out at Lehighton. Lehighton needs to get something going here. They trail all of a sudden by 12. How do you trail all of a sudden by 12? Three touchdowns in the quarter.
Yep, and quick scores.
Green comes to the near side as the Indians now move left to right. Eckhart throws to Green. They want him one-on-one. He's got a block and some room to the 50. And ridden down.
Great play by the Indians, and poor defensive reaction by the Panthers. But a great play.
About a 22-yard gain. Here it is again.
Yep, nothing fancy about it, just a screen. And I don't know if that was Lush who got out there to throw the block, but whoever it was did a fine job and sprung Green for a nice gain.
Fenton Black came over and made the stop. That is the first down of the second half for the Indians. A stoppage in play.
An Indian, I think, was down here on the near side, Bob.
I think it was Green. Green is on the sideline.
Yes, you're right. But again, he came off under his own power, and he'll be back in unless he's just exhausted. He's played both ways.
Or he has a cramp. Terry Blair is in at that halfback spot. They shift the wishbone to the left. Kyle Williams on the give straight ahead.
Romanko there.
It is a gain of about 5, 2nd and 5. The Indians are being patient. Patience is a virtue, and the Indians need it here.
Yeah, there's time, as you pointed out earlier, there's time for them to move the ball downfield. They can't do it at 2 or 3 yards, but they don't have to panic yet. You're right.
On the trap, Gombert through a hole. He has a block, and somebody with a nice play. That is Jason Pekka, the defensive end, who grabbed a hold of him and dragged him down.
From behind, it looked as though Gombert was going to break it big because, as you said, he had a blocker in front of him, and the blocker still hadn't come to a defensive man to block. But Pekka reached back and made a good play.
Cattle roped him. Say you throw a lasso on somebody. At that point, they tell you just grab hold and wait for help. 3rd and 1 Indians. They shift the wishbone 1 step to the right. They need to keep this alive here. Long count. The handoff, Blair. Blair has the first down and a little bit more. A nice run by Blair coming off the bench, picking up about 6 and an Indian first down.
Pekka in on the defensive play for the Panthers, along with Mark Kreitzer.
You know, Dave Parsons talked when he gave me the starting lineups about this second team of Steigerwald, Danny Steigerwald, Darryl Snyder, and Terry Blair. 2 halfbacks and a fullback. He's real impressed with them. He thinks they may be very close to his first team.
Well, if that's indeed the case, then they are fine football players because that first offensive backfield is as good as you'll find.
On first down, the throw batted up in the air and incomplete.
Nice defensive play by Kreitzer again.
And did you see at the end of that play, a great play by Jimmer Kane to grab a hold of the intended receiver. Now, once this ball is batted, watch.
Right.
Mike Lush is coming back and may have a chance at that. Once it's batted, there's no interference.
Right.
2nd and 10 for the Indians. Monk to the near side. Lush also over there. Unbalanced line right. They put Gombert up at a wing and put Blair up at a wing left. Fumble on the snap.
And there was a mix-up there. Somebody forgot the snap count.
And the Indians got it back. So it will be 3rd and 10 for Lehighton.
Looked as though the ball came up before Eckhart was ready for it.
About 9:15 remains in this one. That clock could not move fast enough for the Panthers. One step to the left goes the wishbone. Double tight set. Option left. The pitch goes to Gombert. Gombert looking for room. He's got it, and he's out of bounds.
Had some blockers in front of him, but the defense reacted real well.
Here it is again.
over there, I think, to finally make the tackle.
A couple of nice blocks, but strung out well by the Panther defense. It will be 4th and 5.
In that situation, they could afford to give up the 5 yards. It didn't hurt them.
4th and 5 for the Indians at the Panther 27. They're taking a lot of time.
And they're not coming out over the ball in a big hurry either. You're right. They could very easily get a delay of game penalty here.
Long count.
And they're going to be penalized.
Eckhart to throw deep for Lewis. Incomplete, and it won't matter.
Do I see a flag? I guess,
No.
yeah, I think there is a flag over there. And Panthers, of course, will refuse the penalty and take over.
Yeah, there it is on the far side. I think Bobby Eckhart tried to rush the count. So it is an incomplete. Actually, if it is motion on the line, that should be a dead ball. And that play should be replayed. If that is motion on the line, that would be a dead ball, and the Indians would have one more chance.
I think it was the end who moved.
Who is the one man on the line who can.
Yeah.
Movement by an interior lineman would be a dead ball.
Right. Now what becomes of some interest is whether or not Panther Valley can move the ball on the ground and kill some time.
It is time for a big defensive play by the Indians. And ball control by the Panthers straight ahead. It is Jimmer Kane, and he goes nowhere.
Yeah, Kyle Williams made a fine defensive play with help from Ryan Wentz. They met Kane right at the line of scrimmage, threw him for a yard loss. And it's important, I think, here for the Panthers to establish a ground game. They want to be able to do that in situations like this. They want to eat up as much of the clock as possible. And I'll be surprised if they can't do it, because Kane and Malaska are two good backs.
2nd and 12, Miller in motion. The pitch to Malaska. And he will not get too much, and a penalty marker comes in at the end of the play. Mike Gombert came up and made the play from the cornerback spot.
We're going to have an illegal block. Going to call it a clip against Panther Valley. And if we can see it on replay, you'll find one of the pulling linemen. There you have it.
Low block.
You're saying refuse it. It's tough to give up a 15-yard penalty. I know you're thinking in terms of the clock, but Coach Parsons agreed with you?
I would want to get my hands on... No, he's going to take it.
Yeah.
But I would want to get my hands on the ball. It would be 3rd and 12. Not a bad move. I don't think you can make a bad move in that situation.
I know what you're saying, and certainly, as you point out, there's merit to both sides of the argument.
I would want to get my hands on the ball, though.
Okay, it's 2nd and 23. You're primarily a passing team. You're going to throw the ball here?
Yes. Koschulik, play action fake. Throwing deep near side. This one is going to be caught for a first down. What a catch by Matt Carnish. Danny Fry was right there, and Carnish comes down with the football.
And what you're going to see here is something we've seen before tonight, and that is that the Panther Valley receivers want that football. They go after it, and
and they're going to tag on 15 more. It is a 28-yard pass play to Carnish and a first down, and then another 15 tagged on the end of it for a face mask. Wow.
Yeah, I'm surprised they threw. But those receivers go after the football. They want the ball. And now the Indians are in trouble.
They'll hand off to Jimmer Kane, and Kane gets hit hard by Kyle Williams.
And Terry Blair.
And Blair, right? Williams with a little extra.
He's a fierce competitor, and things as they are do not sit well with him.
2nd and 8, and more importantly for the Panthers, I think it's 2nd and 9 rather. The clock runs at the 7-minute mark, and Dave Parsons
exhorting his defense to yeoman efforts.
I think he would love to jump in there and play himself right at this point. 2nd and 9. Kashulak the pass. Quick shovel pass to Jimmer Kane is complete, but goes nowhere.
Ryan Wentz, the nose guard, not fooled at all for the Indians. Defensive tackle, actually.
3rd and 9 for the Panthers.
The combination of a screen pass and a shovel pass.
You'd think we're watching Notre Dame High School here with Schumacher, who does that so well.
Yes. Yeah, I heard that they're putting the ball in the air already this year, all over the place.
3rd and 9, penalty markers fly from the back judge. That'll be too much time.
Right. The Panthers at this point have got to be a little disappointed. Yes, they're winning 34-22, but they still have not established any kind of a running game. And in this situation, as I pointed out, that's what they want to be able to do, to take some time off the clock.
On the other hand, Lehighton came out like everyone thought they would. Looked like they were dominating, and really have done nothing since. Miller in motion. Kashulak to pass. Looking right. Throwing right for Molesca. That one's picked up by Williams, and he's got some room if he can get a block. To the 20. And down to the 18-yard line. Kyle Williams with the interception and the big return. There's the big defensive play the Indians needed.
And there also points out the weakness of not being able to run the ball. By throwing the ball, the big play becomes more of a possibility, as we saw there. As we see it on replay, good hustle by the Panther Valley offensive people to prevent Williams from going all the way with that interception.
1st and 10, Lehighton deep inside of Panther Valley territory.
But the Panthers should not have been throwing the ball at that point any longer. But the fact that they cannot move the ball on the ground is why they did so, and that's something they've got to work on.
The Indian fans have something to cheer about. They would have more to cheer about if the Indians can score quick here. Eckhart rolling right. He will go nowhere. He is sacked. The sack was made
and that by... excuse me, Bob. That was a broken play. There was no receiver out on this side of the field for Eckhart to throw to.
Pekka, 66, made the play, but it was actually earlier that one was set up. They'll lose about 5 on that.
Yeah, there was only one receiver, and he was on the far side of the field, and so Eckhart really had no one to throw the ball to.
2nd and 15, Indians. Timeout, Lehighton. Lehighton will take a timeout. 4:42 remains in the fourth quarter. The Panthers lead it by 12. The Indians are looking to put it in.
He's looking at you, kid.
We'll give you the moon and the stars.
Second down, 15 for Lehighton. They trail this one by 12. Unbalanced line right. 3 receivers, and Gombert in motion. Quick look in, pass incomplete, thrown behind Sean Monk. And it will be 3rd and 15.
And Coach Parsons cannot at this point be pleased with his throwing tonight. He's going to go, if he really wants to throw the ball, he's going to have to go back next week in practice and work on it some more.
Bobby Eckert has thrown the ball 9 times tonight. I don't think he threw the ball 9 times through 3 quarters of last year.
You may well be right.
In this game last year, he was just 1 for 3 passing. 3rd and 15 Indians. Gombert in motion. Eckhart to throw. Looks. Throwing. Deep left side. In a crowd. Incomplete.
And good defense by Jimmer Kane, who was there. Fenton Black was also there.
It was intended for Monk. Here it is again.
Yeah, Eckhart has some time to throw and throws it on the money. It's just that there were too many defenders there.
I'm sure Dave Parsons would like Sean Monk to play like his namesake of the Washington Redskins. He needs it here. 4th and 15 for Lehighton. 4.5 minutes remain. Fry wide left. Green wide right. Lush is the tight end right. From the eye. Eckhart to throw. Throwing deep right side. This one's going to be well overthrown. He was looking for Green. Kane was in coverage, and the Indians turn it over on down.
Right. And here again, the Panther offense is under some pressure to prove to everyone, particularly themselves, that they can run the football. There's still 4:27, and they do not want to be put into the position of having to throw the football in order to maintain possession.
First and 10 Panthers. The clock stopped at 4 minutes and 27 seconds as you see the scoreboard staring right into the face of the Lehighton Indians.
Certainly Indian fans, if they lose this ball game tonight, are going to be disappointed. And yet, I think what has to be said at this point is they ran into the one thing that they probably had some trouble dealing with, and that's a really good passing attack.
Malaska on the run to the right side. Picks up a couple. Mike Gombert is there on the stop. It will be 2nd down and 6, and the Panthers would be happy with a couple of these.
See it again.
Nice hard running by Justin Malaska. 4 yards a gain would be perfect for the Panthers right here as the clock goes under the 4-minute mark.
I don't think the Indians will run into too many passing attacks of this caliber again this season, with the possible exception of Notre Dame High School, which is their last game of the season.
Miller on the wing back trap coming back the other way, and he is stopped cold. Ryan Wentz came through and made the stop. So the Indian defense trying to keep their team alive here.
And again, Panther Valley not able to move the ball on the ground.
So Brad Miller loses the 4 that Malaska had just picked up the previous play, and it's 3rd and 10.
It'll certainly be interesting to see if Kishula puts it up now.
There's Molaska on the run, carrying an Indian defender.
Couple of them.
Blair and Gombert are there on the stop. It will be 4th down and 7 for the Panthers, and they will have to kick this one away.
Yeah, and what yardage Molaska made that time, he made on his own effort, and not because the play was blocked well or executed well.
Katchmar is in the punt. Williams and Green are deep for the Indians. The clock runs at the 2:25 mark. Panthers use plenty of time. Good snap. And Katchmar gets away. A beauty off the fingertips of Williams. Green with the speed at the 24. Across the 30, and that is all.
Good coverage that time by the Panthers. They spread out nicely across the field and gave Green really nowhere to go. Often on a fumbled punt, if they converge on the ball, that opens up the wings. But that time the Panther Valley punting team maintained a nice relationship, and there was just nowhere for Green to go.
The clock is running. We are under the 2-minute mark. The Indians come out with Fry wide to the right side as he shifts out there. Unbalanced to that side with Lush, the tight end, and Gombert, the slot. Eckhart options, gets it to Green, and Green is dropped well behind the line of scrimmage. John Bashago makes the stop.
And that certainly tells you something. Running the option play with 1.5 minutes to go, trailing by 12 points. But it's what Coach Parsons feels most comfortable with.
Lehighton has Nazareth next week. I would guess that he will throw the ball twice next week.
Well, it depends. That I agree with you. Twice when the game is still in doubt. If he gets behind, he may throw the ball a bit more than that. But I think you're right when you say twice when the game's still up for grabs.
Under 1 minute left. Eckhart wants to throw. Pressure is on. He gets away. Throws. It is intercepted. Intercepted by Fenton Black.
And Coach Parsons is pacing the sidelines here as we take another look at it, and he is really upset because, of course, Eckhart shouldn't have thrown the ball. He was all turned around, and you just don't throw the ball in that type of situation. And that's what Coach Parsons is saying to Eckhart now. The Panthers obviously not in a hurry to snap the ball.
Under 20 seconds left. And they take the penalty. Right. Lehighton scored first early. Mike Gombert with a 48-yard run to make it 7-0. Kyle Williams went in from 38 yards. And a 2-point conversion from Hibbler to Lush made it 15-0. The Panthers came back. Matt Carnish scored on a 47-yard pass from Kazi Kashulik to make it 15-6. The Indians scored on a 2-yard run by Kyle Williams as the Panthers just sit on it. That made it 22-6. The Panthers scored on a 21-yard pass from Kashulik to Fenton Black to make it 22-12 at halftime. And then the Panthers just came out like a house on fire in the third. A long drive culminated in a 3-yard run by Justin Molaska to make it 22-20 Lehighton. After a fumble, Fenton Black caught a 20-yard pass from Kashulik for a 28-22 lead. And then it was Brad Miller from 64 yards out from Kashulik to make it 34-22. It was a second half surge by the Panthers to win it.
Yeah, one of the big plays in there was a 4th down play, 4th and about 20, when the Panthers went into a punt formation. And
on the first drive.
On the first drive of this third quarter. And I think that set up the whole third quarter and subsequently the whole second half. Had they not made that big play on fourth down, they'd have turned the ball over to Lehighton, and we could have had a much different ball game here tonight.
That and the fumble, which turned into the second touchdown of the third quarter.
Right. Lehighton tonight, I'm sure, is terribly disappointed. And yet, as we were saying toward the end of the ball game, Bob, they ran into a great passing offense tonight, and their pass defense came up short. So that they have to work on. But they defended the run very, very well. I think they established the fact that they can run the football, so that I don't think this game, as we mentioned in the pregame show, indicates that this is going to be a long season for the Lehighton Indians. I think they're still going to win their share of football games. They've got a good football team, and they'll do all right. It's just they couldn't defend the pass tonight, and they ran into maybe the best one in the whole Lehigh Valley in Kazi Kashuli, and some fine receivers too. I was most impressed with the fact that those Panther Valley receivers wanted the football. Any number of times the ball was up for grabs and they went and got it, whereas the Lehighton defenders were somewhat passive in going for the football. That too is something that the Indians can overcome, but Panther Valley receivers did themselves proud tonight.
You want to hear some numbers? Kazi Kashulik, 5 of 7 in the second half for 105 yards, 2 touchdowns,